morning, everyone. My name is Paul, and I am a nerd, and you are here for our August 2016 Coffee Pot webinar, where today we are fortunate enough to be joined by Reshaud Anthony from Pensoft Payroll Solutions, and he and I are going to talk about Pensoft Payroll, which is payroll software, as the name would imply, that integrates directly with Tabs3's General Ledger software so that you can do your payroll in Pensoft and you can have everything show up automatically in GL. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to introduce Rashad, and while I'm doing that, I'm going to press the magic buttons to get over to his computer so that he can give us a little bit of information on Pensoft. Rashad, why don't you start by telling us a little bit about yourself and the company, and while you're doing that, I will switch over there.
Okay, sounds good. So, good morning to everyone. As Paul mentioned, my name is Reshaud Anthony, and I'm with Pensoft Payroll, and I work as a training specialist. And just to give you a little about what I do here, I provide internal training for our employees and also develop training documents for internal and external use, and also provide training for customers and our software distributors. So I have been with Pensoft for 7 years. Before coming back to Pensoft, I returned in December of last year. I was living in Portland, Oregon, and I was working in education out there. I worked as an elementary school teacher. So when I'm not at Pensoft, in my spare time, I do like to get involved with fitness. So I like to run, play basketball, tennis, and also play the piano. Let me give you
I was going to say, you're a lot like me because my wife is a former teacher.
Okay.
But then when you said the fitness stuff, I was going to say, but you're not like me too much there. But then I like to play the piano too, so we got a lot in common.
Oh, wow, we have. Okay. Great. I think alike. Okay, so a little history about Pensoft and a little information. Pensoft is a privately held company, so it was founded in 1983. So we've been around for a while, and in 1990 is when Pensoft moved from a home base to an office in Virginia. So currently we're located in Newport News, Virginia, 151 Enterprise Drive, and we have thousands of customers in all 50 states, Puerto Rico, and the U.S. Virgin Islands. And so our company personnel consists of our sales and administration department, information systems. They do our programming, and then our program support and training department. So as far as Pensoft, our software, is concerned, it's a very easy-to-use program. It's designed for small to mid-sized businesses. And with Pensoft, you purchase it on an annual subscription basis. So what that means is from January until December, it comes with the tax calculations for federal and state and the forms that will allow you to process payroll for that particular calendar year. And at the end of December, you will have to renew in order to get the following year's software. So at the end of 2016, for example, you'll renew for 2017 in order to get the 2017 federal and state tax tables updated, tax forms, and also it'll allow you to process payroll for 2017. It transfers all of your company setup and your employee setup, wages, deductions, and that information over to the following year. As far as what is included with Pensoft, so in all of the editions, a wealth of comprehensive reports, the calculations for federal and state, the tax tables, the ability to apply deductions, record deductions, fringe benefits. You can print on pre-printed W-2 forms. You get an update once a quarter as a minimum. You have access to our program support department for any questions that you have while using the program, and there's no charge for program support, so that's included in your subscription. And you also have the option to print on laser checks, and it prints on your federal and your state forms. So you'll have to have all that you need to process your payroll. So Pensoft, we have 6 different editions. So depending on the needs of your organization will determine which edition you would choose. So our light edition, we'll start with that one. That's designed for one company, maximum of 25 employees. And so you'll be able to print on pre-printed checks with that particular edition. Now, if we move up to the standard, you can process payroll for up to 100 employees, and this is where you're able to create multiple companies within Pensoft. And also with standard, you're able to export. So if you want to send information to a GL or accounting software, you would at least need to be on the standard edition.
So that means that if we're going to integrate with General Ledger from Software Technology, the Tabs3 General Ledger, we can't use light. We need to be on standard. Is that right?
That's correct. Standard or higher.
Gotcha.
So moving up to the professional edition, up to 250 employees, and with the professional, you are able to process direct deposit. So you can create a file, and you're then able to submit that file to your bank. We also use a third-party company called NatPay, which allows you to submit the file seamlessly through the software. So that starts with the professional. And also with professional, if you need to have your data broken down by departments or by job, so you can enter payroll via department or by job costing, and you can also print reports to break down information by job. With the enterprise, you now are up to 500 employees, and once again, this is per company. And with the enterprise, you're able to print on MICR checks. So with the first 3 editions, you had to have check stock where the company name, the routing and account number is going to be pre-printed on the check, and the software fills it in. Well, with the MICR check stock, you get blank check stock. It goes into your printer, and so the software fills everything in for you. Company name, routing number, as well as the payee information. Also with our enterprise, if you need to process 1099 recipients, you have contractors working for you, you can start to do that with the enterprise. Then we get up to our last 2 editions at our higher tiers, the Platinum and the Premier. Those editions both allow you to process for unlimited employee levels. With the Platinum edition, you're able to generate a federal report, which is for certified payroll. So if that applies to you, you can do that in the Platinum edition. And then with our Premier edition, we have an invoicing feature or invoicing module, which allows you to invoice, and it can calculate based on your payroll records you've processed, your checks, or direct deposit files that you've processed through the software. So those are our 6 different editions, just giving you a breakdown of some of the different features, and you can decide which edition you would need.
Now, for the most part, the people that are going to be using this with Tabs3's General Ledger are deciding between standard and professional, and it either hinges on whether you have less than or more than 100 employees, of course, but also, even if you're at a less than 100 employee level, if you want to do direct deposit for your employees, you still need to be on the professional level. Am I interpreting all that correctly?
Yes, that's correct. That's correct.
I think that's pretty much where our client base would tend to fall, is between that standard and professional. Occasionally, we might get into a firm that has enough employees that they'd be in the enterprise level. But of course, that important distinction there is that the direct deposit, I think a lot of people are doing direct deposit these days. It's easier for the people processing the payroll and easier for the people receiving the payroll.
Yeah, that definitely is a direction a lot of companies are going with the direct deposit, and a lot of our customer base falls between the standard and professional. Every now and then you'll have someone that needs an additional feature, maybe 1099s, and has to go up to enterprise. So right now I want to touch on the pricing levels for our different editions. And on our website here, this is pensoft.com. This is a feature chart. So I mentioned some of the features that it gives you, all of the differences between the 6 editions. And so at the bottom, I'll just kind of show you, this is the starting price for the light edition, standard, professional, enterprise, platinum, and the accounting, just to give you an idea. When you purchase the software, you have to have it shipped to you as a CD initially, but for your updates, you can choose to download your updates, which more and more customers are doing because it's faster. You don't have to wait for CD to come to you. Or if you desire, you can choose to receive your updates via CD. So these are some frequently asked questions. Can I use Pensoft on more than one computer? This question is asked because at many organizations, more than one person may need to do payroll, or if there needs to be a backup person. And so the answer is yes, and typically what would happen, your data would be on a server or network so that if it's installed on multiple computers, everyone can access the same data. Is there an online version? Currently, there's not a web-based version of Pensoft. However, we do have what is called hosted solution. So that is Pensoft on the cloud. And so how that works, instead of you having the desktop version where you install on your computer, you would be going to a website and accessing Pensoft through a remote desktop. So you log in, you're now on this remote desktop, and the software works the same, but that just allows you to access Pensoft from any computer with internet access. You can use it on your tablet as well as your smartphone. Can I print or file my state forms? You are able to do that for your unemployment insurance forms. For the state income tax, we do not have those forms in the software, so that's a common question. And however, you do have the data necessary so that you can report that information to your state agency. Can I use Pensoft for more than one business? So that question, let me explain how that answer goes. Within the software, you're able to create multiple companies if you're on at least the standard or higher. However, per the licensing agreement, Pensoft can be installed on multiple computers at one single location. However, if you're going to go from different locations, from one location to the next, you would need a separate license for each location. Right now, what I'm going to do is switch over to the program just to demonstrate a few things. So we've talked about it a lot. So this is actually what Pensoft looks like. And as I mentioned, it's very easy to use. Click on Personnel. I have my employees added in here. So in my setup, under Incomes, I can modify to adjust their rate if they're hourly. And then I'll go into this person here. They're a salaried employee, so I just enter their yearly salary, and so it'll split out their yearly salary by their pay period as I go to enter payroll. Here I can enter their deductions and their leave if we're going to be tracking leave through Pensoft. Beginning balance and how much they're going to earn. Okay, so now I'm going to go to payroll. We have the employee set up, and so we're ready to enter their payroll. In Pensoft, you can enter payroll through the manual data entry screen, so that's the method I'll briefly show you. You can also have payroll data imported. Pensoft works with several time and attendance softwares, so if you are using an online system to clock in or a time clock, that system can create a file, and if it's according to Pensoft specifications, then you can import your payroll data instead of having to manually enter it. So let me show you the manual data entry screen. Selected my pay date, my work period here, and I'm just going to do these three. These employees have already had their payroll processed. So if I select enter payroll data, just enter the hours, you can see the taxes and deductions calculate. Save and next. The same. And so this is my salaried employee, so as you can see their amount is already listed here. And so I have my payroll records processed for my employees, so that was pretty simple.
One question here. You mentioned that it includes all the tax tables for federal and state. It supports local municipalities, I'm assuming, but it just doesn't include those. They need to be entered by the user of the software. Is that correct?
That's correct. For local county taxes, you have the option to add a tax, and so you would just need to know what the rate is going to be if there's a cutoff wage-based amount. But yes, you can add that.
Gotcha. But if you're in Indiana, it knows what the federal taxes and what the state taxes will be. It's only the local county or township or city or whatever jurisdictional taxes that you need to add manually.
That's correct.
Gotcha.
So deposits, anytime you make deposits for your taxes that are due, you'd want to come here and post those so that it flows correctly to your federal and your state forms. I'm going to switch over to reports. We have a large amount of reports available. I'll just highlight a few. So under tax reports, the by deposit and by tax that lets you know how much tax you owe to the IRS or to your state. And you can run it for a pay date or a month, depending on how often you have to make deposits, and it gives you the amounts there. Under federal, we have the quarterly forms that you'll need for the IRS, the 941s here, and then our annual forms, the 940 and the W-2. And this is the actual form that you can print and send into the IRS. They will accept it. State reports as well. This is the unemployment insurance. My particular state I have set up is Texas, but whatever state that you add would be listed here, or states. If you created a local tax, it would give you a generic report for your local tax, how much you withheld and what the taxable wages were. You can create user-defined reports, and there's an unlimited amount. So if I wanted to bring in total income and a 401k plan, you have a lot of options as far as the data that you can bring into a report. And I can give it a name, payroll balance. And so now it's listed there, and you just display it and run it for the period that you'd like. And then you have leave balance reports if you want the update on employees' leave. You can also choose to have that leave show on their pay summaries. Let me go back to checks, and if you click on checks, the employees are listed here with their check amount. If I do select by group and do checks, I can highlight those who are getting checks, and then the direct deposit employees have 0 amounts. and I'm able to, let me just show you for direct deposit employees, this is what the summary looks like that they can receive. Export, this is a list of companies that Pensoft exports to. So in your case, Tabs3 General Ledger, and you first have to go into the setup to enter the correct account numbers or account codes. And then you create the file. It saves it to this location, and then run program is where you can send it to your GL software. And then finally, utilities. This is where you want to do a backup. After you process payroll, we recommend that you do a backup and save it to a location other than your local computer, just in case your system crashes, you have a backup to restore. Because unless you are using the hosted solution, which is Pensoft on the cloud, we back that up. But if you install it on if you have it at your business, then we have none of your data here at Pensoft.
That's awesome. By the way, if you go back to that export, Mary Jo, who many of our customers have worked with, because if they've got GL, they know Mary Jo, she can help you set this up. So if you're looking at that list of the chart of accounts that you need to match up, and that's making your head spin, that's something that Mary Jo can help you with if you want to bring her in to do that. And then is that all you've got on your side as far as what you want to show?
Correct. Yeah, that was it as far as the Pensoft. Yeah.
My part is really, really, really easy, because I'm going to show what you do once you've done all the things that you need to do in Pensoft to make your payroll work. And as soon as I can find the right person to click on here, there we go. I'm going to make myself the presenter and show my screen. And so here I am logging into STI's or Tabs3's General Ledger. There's Ron. We'll pretend Ron's the payroll administrator, even though in our system he's an attorney, because the thought of an attorney going into the payroll or the GL is frightening to many of the people that are listening to this webinar. And all you really have to do is go into integration, click this button, identify the file that you have created in Pensoft, and click OK. I'm not going to do it because we don't have that file that Rashad created. But that's it. You really basically just point to the file that you've created in Pensoft, pop up and let you navigate to it. You point to that file, you hit OK, and it pulls everything in and gives you a prompt telling you everything's OK and a report to print to confirm that import of that data. That part is the easy part. Pensoft makes the payroll part, which is the hard part, makes that part easy, and then we make it even easier just by pulling everything into General Ledger. Well, Rashad, I really appreciate your joining me here today. This is if I had tried to explain everything that you explained, we'd be in trouble. So I really appreciate your joining us and making all that clear. I'm going to switch over here to our website, which, by the way, is Attorney Computer Systems, emphasis on that S at the end of systems.com. And I'm going to show you that in the future, you can sign up for our live events here under videos. And you can also watch our pre-recorded and live events, recorded live events here. So for instance, when you click on videos, you will see all of our live events, our Tabs, Practice Master, and WorldDocs virtual user group meetings, in addition to our Coffee Pot webinars. You will also see our 2 pre-recorded video series, Mary Jo's eBytes video series, short little 3 or 4 minute videos. She makes 3 of them a month, 1 on Tabs, 1 on Practice Master, 1 on WorldDocs. And our longer format Paul and Mary Jo show, where either I or Mary Jo will take a more broad topic and dig a little deeper into it. We'll spend 10, 15, sometimes 20 minutes digging into a specific topic. Those are all here. But if we click on the Coffee Pot webinars, you will be taken to the page where you can see about the Coffee Pot webinar series, for instance. This, by the way, is the same for each of the virtual user group meetings, the VUGs. You'll see information about the next live event, which is scheduled for September 9th and happens to be about Symphony OCR, which is a utility that makes PDFs readable before putting them into Practice Master or World Docs. You'll see information about prior Coffee Pot webinars like this one. And if it's out of post-production, which this one is not because it's currently being recorded, you'll actually see a video. So as you scroll down, you will see all the videos we've ever made or all the recorded versions of all the Coffee Pot webinars, all the virtual user group meetings, and of course our e-bites and Paul and Mary Jo Show series. So please take advantage of that. It's all here. We've been doing this for years and years, and we've been recording it for at the very least 3 or 4 years. Some of these things we've been recording for 5 or 6 years. So there's a lot of content here. There's a search capability. You can pretty much find anything you want. If you type, for instance, Pensoft. I'm doing this blind. I hope it works. Here we go. You'll find information. Oh, and admittedly, here's the one I did. Ooh. Yeah, don't watch this one because this was me trying to demonstrate Pensoft, and I think Rashad pretty much put me to shame just now. So there's the current version that I found with the search feature. So everybody have a good rest of the day, a good rest of the month, and maybe we'll see you next month when we talk about Symphony OCR. Thanks, Rashad.
All right, thank you.